What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another special From Screen to Shelf review. Today, we are going to be talking about, I don't know if I'd say one of my most highly anticipated movies. I just kept forgetting about it at some occasions, but every time it would come up, I got super excited. But today, we're going to be talking about Humane. And if you don't know what that is, or you're just clicking in on the channel because you saw another review pop up and you're curious what it's about, and why was I excited for it? Well, as some people that have been following me and on here for a little while know, David Cronenberg is my absolute favorite director. Hands down, bar none. I consider him the greatest in his craft. Everything. I have a whole ranking video linked down in the description below that you can go check out where I ranked every single movie and I believe short film. I think I ranked his short films. Anyways, I'm a mega fan. So, this movie is directed by his daughter, not written as far as I could tell. Not a lot of details about this movie, but it is directed by her. It is not, it's technically her feature length directorial debut. She shot a short film called The Death of David Cronenberg, I believe back in 2021. It was whenever it was released. So she did the cinematography for that. She's a pretty well decorated photographer. And a fun fact for Drake's Views album, the iconic album cover of like the little, um, I forget what it's called, but it almost looks like something from Dragon Ball Z and it's up in the sky. She did that and it's one of her most popular things. And I believe she won a lot of awards for it. So it's pretty cool to see her, just like Brandon, take a step into the directorial space and the feature length film space. I'm a huge fan of Brandon Cronenberg. I'm a huge believer that the apple hasn't fallen far from the tree. He has some short films under his belt, but Brandon Cronenberg's first movie was Antiviral, which I consider an absolute classic, which Severn is going to be doing a 4K of fairly soon, per a report. Anyways, enough rambling. Yes, this is Caitlin Cronenberg, his daughter, and this is her directorial debut. How is it? What's it about? Everything like that. Well, it has actually a really cool premise, like a really cool premise, kind of up there with like The Purge. So they don't say exactly what the environmental crisis is. If they did, it must happen for a split second and I missed it. But there's an environmental crisis to the point where they feel like they need to euthanize all of the world governments, feel like they need to decrease the world's population by 20%. So by decreasing it by 20%, they feel like, the environmental load, this and that, there's an overpopulation issue. So you can either get conscripted, where you're chosen at random to be euthanized, or you can enlist and sign up and make your sacrifice to your country, to your city, your state, however you want to perceive it. So essentially, what ends up happening is this family, Jay Baruchel, is one of them. Oh, love that guy. Another great Jay Baruchel horror movie, Random Acts of Violence, also on Shudder. So, anyways, this like pretty like decorated family, like they all are very successful in their own worlds and for different reasons. They are at this dinner table, and the father and the mother are set to be euthanized. And so the people come to collect, and it doesn't go exactly how they planned. So the people have to decide amongst themselves who's going to be euthanized, because the government has to collect one body because they signed up for two bodies. Either that or they will pick somebody. So it becomes a game of like tearing the family apart. Like, who can you trust? Like, oh, what reasons do you have? What reason for this? What reason for that? And it just kind of spirals from there. So that's a pretty good synopsis to kind of get you hooked on the movie. Now, for the honest feedback, the idea is just so much better than the execution. And I don't think that falls on Caitlin in any way, shape, or form. I believe it falls onto the script. She did not write this. A lot of Cronenberg's, not all of them, but a lot of them, he either at least has a hand in, or he, for the most part, wrote some of them. So she was given a script. I was looking at it. I forget exactly what it is, but she was given a script for it, and she pretty much just shot it and just did her thing. And I think for what she did and with what was within her control, she did a really good job of. I honestly, if you just turned that on and you didn't tell me who it was directed by, I wouldn't have been able to tell it was a Cronenberg. It's not like even Brandon's. I can sniff a Brandon Cronenberg short film or a feature length film a mile away. He has so much of his dad's influence; it's unreal. From Antiviral to Possessor to um, what's his newest one? Infinity Pool, which I was a huge fan of. So for hers, it feels very, very professionally made, more than geared with the grimy and the weird and the zany and everything like that. It's very serious, very well shot, very beautifully shot. For as a matter of fact, yeah, I mean, you would think it was a quite a few $1 million project at that point, like a big theatrical release with some of the ways that the cinematography was done. She did excellent camera work there. I just really think the script falls flat. And to really summarize it and not get too hot-winded about it, the best way I can describe this is the not the first Purge titular movie, but the very first Purge movie that ever came out. It falls in that same category where it had such a cool premise and it's just like, what are you doing with it? You know what I mean? I really think it comes down to the writing and not necessarily her as a director, because the cinematography, the person that she did that with, everything that I feel like that was within the director's control, well, it was really good, really well done. Now, what am I gonna give the movie? I honestly, about a 5 out of 10. I really didn't care for it that much, just because, like, it had me hooked, and then I just really felt like the last half kinda really faltered, and I think I might be being a little bit harsh. I think I probably, if I rewatched it and found a lot more fun in it and embraced it, maybe a 6, 6.5 is what I think might maybe other people might be willing to rate it, but it's just for what it was, I just think a 5 out of 10 is really appropriate for it. I'm super excited to see what Caitlin does in the future. I'm not gonna like not be looking forward to anything. The next one, I'll be just as excited to see what she's doing as this one if she does continue to make films in this category. Now, Humane is exclusively streaming on Shudder as of 2 days ago from the time of this airing. So you can watch it free if you've got a subscription, or it's $6 a month for Shudder, or you can find it on most digital platforms for, I believe it was $15 whenever I saw it on Apple. So check it out. I would honestly say if you're a huge Cronenberg fan like I am, just give it a shot. Form your own opinion. See what it's about. Go for it. So that's pretty much it. Just really wanted to talk about that movie. I know it's not like a huge release or anything like that, but I'm always going to find a reason to talk about anything and everything David Cronenberg, just like Gabe on here will find any reason to talk about Christopher Nolan. So I wanted to use that outlet. So thank you guys so much. Comment, like, subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below and let me know if you've seen this or if it's something you're interested in. Until next time, guys, I appreciate you as always. Thank you guys for all of your continued support. Until next time, this is me signing out. Later.